Make his first ever big league start, and I can't imagine the nerves going through the kid's body right now. 12 assignments in AAA, most of that at the AA level, and pretty good numbers on the farm, Gonzo.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, he's been a bright surprise for these guys. He's risen through the Dominican League when he got signed, worked his way all the way up, only pitched one game in spring training just as a call-up to go out there, and now here he is making his major league debut.
Last started on Saturday, June 13th, so it's been a little time between actual assignments. Of course, he's been getting his work in, but last time out he was really good. 6 shutout innings, scattered 3 hits at the AAA level, and ready to begin his big league career here this afternoon. Let me ask you this. You guys have both faced starters, I would assume, making major league career debuts. How does the preparation process, Trevor, change for you facing a guy no one's ever seen before?
Yeah, I think you end up working counts a little bit more. Nowadays, the scouting reports, they're coming from AA. They're coming from AAA. You have all of that data, so it can be a little bit different. But I think you want to see him in zone, see what's working for him today, and then kind of go from there. You're not going to go out there with a huge game plan necessarily to start the game off, but you will be watching to see what's working.
Yeah, I agree, Trevor. I think the main thing is you ask around the clubhouse, has anybody seen this guy before? Has anybody faced him? What do you think he's got? And then try to go off of that. And then your visual, what you see from the dugout early in the game, that's how you're going to dictate your at-bats.
The defense behind him, we call your attention to Ketel Marte at second base, the only middle infielder in the sport who has enough qualifying innings that is not committed an error. Of course, Nolan Arenado, historically just one of the best that's ever done it. A 6-time Gold Glover. Gabby Moreno, a Gold Glover as well. Arenado, by the way, 6 platinum gloves at third base.
Well, you don't see a lot of those platinum things there. That's a special moment when you have a different color than everybody else on the field.
So the Diamondbacks, who last night were boat raced out of here. Let's face it, it was an ugly loss. Looking to put that one behind them. And the Twins, for their part, hoping that the good times continue after a 16-run on 20-hit onslaught. Season highs were reached by the Twins in the 5th inning in those 2 categories yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of that damage was done by the bottom of the order, 6 through 9. But this guy right here stepping up, Trevor Larnach, he's been hot.
11 for his last 22. He's hit safely in 5 in a row, and we are underway. First pitch swing against the kid whose first big league pitch is a swinging strike, and they threw that baseball into the dugout. Love it.
Yeah, that's a great sign. Young pitcher out there. His arsenal: sinker, cutter, slider, 4-seamer, changeup, curveballs. I think he's got a toolbox back there behind the mound.
Out to right field. And playable for Corbin Carroll. 2 pitches and 1 gone to start Jose Cabrera's career. Let me ask you this. If that first pitch was in the dirt, do they throw it into the dugout to save it for the trophy case or not?
I think you still got to. I mean, it's
really?
the first time out there. I mean, for the first time, the kid going out there and throws one right down the middle. That's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, so much for seeing pitches. Larnach offers at both of them so far.
So 1 gone, and now it's the 2-time All-Star Byron Buxton, who in most of our minds can clear out the schedule for a 3rd All-Star appearance this year, because there's little doubt he's headed to Philly in about a month. And just to tease our audience, Trevor and Gonzo are both going to give us their All-Star selections a little bit later on today. 1-1 the count to Buxton.
Not going to lie, Matt, there's a lot of tossing and turning on some of the names on that All-Star ballot. There's some good quality guys having good years this year.
Sweeper takes a hard turn and misses. It's 2 balls and a strike. Well, you've watched most of the year for Byron Buxton. And Trevor, I mean, he's had great starts to the year before. Nothing like what he's doing in 2026. There's another chance for Carroll, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, the power's really ramped up for Byron, and you know it's really just not fair. You talk about 5-tool players. He's one of the few in the big leagues. The way he plays defense, he's got one of those platinum gloves you're talking about as well. But the power stroke, he's found that, and it's been consistent all throughout the year.
Yeah, he's a talent. I mean, you talk about the American League. We're in the National League side here with the Diamondbacks. You very rarely get to see a lot of those guys, but you always hear about them. And when his talent is on the field, it really carries over. He's in highlights every time you see the Twins play.
Shared the American League home run lead. And now it's Cody Clemens. 2 balls and no strikes to Clemens. who, as Caroline mentioned before we started here today when she visited with him, is off to the best start of his career. Been some swing modifications. He shortened up a little bit and has had great results. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, he looks like he consistently gets the big part of the bat to the ball, and he's gotten just more playing time in a Minnesota Twins uniform than he ever has before in his big league career, and he's taken that and ran with it.
See some of the June numbers for Cody. That's back up the middle, carrying for Barossa. Side retired in order in the major league debut of Jose Cabrera. Just his 3rd career starting assignment. Let's take a look at his numbers on the pitcher profile presented by Ford. A young guy, Trevor, that the Twins like.
Yeah, he came up in Pittsburgh. I was actually calling that game. First 2 batters he ever faced, he walked them. But then he settled in, and he's been great ever since. A guy that's going to give them a little bit of length, or at least has, in a kind of a hybrid type of role.
We'll set the Diamondbacks starting lineup for you in just a moment. Ketel Marte leading things off for Arizona against the 25-year-old former 18th rounder. And a first pitch swing, something that Ketel will do occasionally. Fly ball into center. And it's another rookie that puts it away. Catch made by Kyler Fedko. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Diamondbacks presented by Capital One. After Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll, and that's where the star power lives. It's Gabby Moreno, Pavin Smith, and Nolan Arenado. Ildemaro Vargas and Jorge Barossa are 2 of the 4 switch hitters in Torey Lovullo's lineup today. And the rookie left fielder Tommy Troy rounds it out for Arizona. Diamondbacks trying to win their 3rd straight series with a win here this afternoon. 1 quick out for Paredes. Now it's Perdomo.
Yeah, and as we saw there, the first pitch of the game, Marte, Corbin Carroll, very aggressive hitters at the top of the lineup. Torey wanted to mix Perdomo, who takes more pitches, in between the 1st and 3rd hitter there, so maybe get that pitcher to work a little bit more early in the game.
And a strike makes it a ball and a strike to Perdomo, who started out the year slow, coming off an all-star season a year ago. And I think in visiting with Torey Lovullo about his start, perhaps put a little too much pressure on himself to do too much heavy lifting.
Yeah, he came off a 20 homer, 100 RBI season. That's a lot for a shortstop, but you know, having that burden thrown on his shoulder just kind of took too much weight on him and tried to do a little bit too much early. Now he's really starting to settle back into what he normally does.
2 balls and a strike. You can see the productivity down from a career 2025. We know this, not unlike a lot of teams. Diamondbacks have a lot more success when they plate the first run. A major league best 23 wins when scoring first this year. And yesterday, boy, they fell behind early, and it was just impossible to catch up. 3 balls and a strike to count to Perdomo.
Yeah, and I think you'll find that a lot with this Diamondbacks team because they don't produce a ton of home runs. They have to find ways to manufacture runs. So when they score early, they become a little bit more of an aggressive team out there on the bases.
The Twins been scoring first pretty much every single game of this road trip. It's why they've been so successful.
Beaten on the ground, smothered by Keishel, gets to his feet, throws not in time. Almost beamed Perdomo in the helmet. And Geraldo Zaborn on a 1-out infield single.
Yeah, nice effort from Keishel here. You see ranging that back angle. And I just don't think he ever plays on turf like this. And that's a little bit different than going on that grass. Never gets his footing. And then by the time he gets up with it, there's really no chance to get Perdomo.
First base runner of the afternoon, and a chance now for Corbin Carroll with a man aboard.
It's a different ball game for infielders on the artificial turf.
Well, it's great for those hitters. That ball starts scooting through those gaps, gets to those walls a lot quicker.
Carroll has been the Diamondbacks' most productive hitter this year, and he too can make some plans to go to Philly as an all-star. Most recently reaching base safely in 12 of his last 13. Big lead for Perdomo. Bluffs his way to second.
Well, one of the best first base coaches in the game, Dave McKay over there at first base. Very good at studying the hitters, trying to get them that little extra footstep out there to try to get to second base. You'll see a lot of the D-backs guys kind of getting that jump lead to take off to second base.
Arizona has been successful in 11 of their last 12 attempts. There are so many similarities between these two teams, and when the three of us were watching this game together last night, you guys made that comment to each other. It's almost like looking in the mirror when you talk about the Twins and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, there's a top heavy part of both of these lineups, and if they can get something from the bottom, that's usually when things go right. And I do think there is a little bit of searching for starting pitching between these two teams.
3 balls and no strikes to count to Carroll. And Paredes loses him on ball 4. Infield single and a walk. 1 out, runners aboard now for Gabby Moreno.
And Gabby's been a guy that Torrey's just recently moved up in the last week or so to the 4th spot in that batting order. He was scuffling down, hitting 6th and 7th, and I think once Torrey moved him up, he's focused a little bit more, concentrating more on getting better pitches to hit.
Had a nice night yesterday in the lopsided loss with a double and a homer. And he's got 2 runners aboard with 1 away in his first at bat today.
Yeah, this is pretty uncharacteristic for Paredes. Save that first outing, like I mentioned. He's been around the zone, hasn't walked a ton of people, and the Twins can rarely afford to give a free 90 feet.
Paredes with some pretty good career minor league control numbers as well. And that's 1 hop to short. Kreidler, what a play! And they get the force out at second base.
Let me tell you something. You guys were in there. I asked Shelty about Ryan Kreidler. Can he play his way into a more of a definitive starting role? And you make plays like this, that's what gets you in there. It's so important for a shortstop to make plays like that, to can take the momentum away from an offense, and he just did it right in front of our eyes. A beautiful play.
Well, I think there's 2 impressive things there. One was the play, and secondly, he made a very accurate throw with something on it to get the speedy Corbin Carroll at second base.
He did it last night with Carroll too.
So runners at the corners with 2 away now for the left-handed hitting DH Pavin Smith, who's had a nice homestand, 5 of 10 with a home run, and he takes strike 1.
You know, the difference between a bases loaded with 1 out and a first and third with 2 outs, you can't understate that.
Paredes trying to wiggle off this first and second with 1 out hook to start the ball game. A ball and a strike that counts as Smith.
When Pavin Smith DH in today, he's been one of those rotating guys over at first base. The Diamondbacks are desperately looking for some power over at first base. Haven't had it all season.
With some knuckling action out to Keyshaw. And no damage done against Paredes as he strands a couple of first inning base runners. Profit boost on live home run bets every Sunday. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game. Can I interest you on a plus 1100 on Trevor Larnach to go deep? He's already had an at bat. That's probably why the number's inflated. Twins went down in order against Jose Cabrera in the first. Young right-hander making his major league debut today, and he starts Royce Lewis with a strike.
Yeah, this is not a bad guy to choose either. He's got a flair for the dramatic.
Boy, that run he had a couple of years ago when it was just grand slam after grand slam.
Yeah, he's a special player. And, you know, he had to go down to AAA, make some adjustments.
Rocket to left and just foul.
And there's some pretty big mechanical adjustments that you can see. First of all, the leg lift is back. He was kind of going to a toe tap earlier on in the season, and then one of the more glaring ones, if you watch him hit here, the back foot will step back. It's a drill that most guys used to do in the cage, but a few guys, Nolan Arenado's done it in his career. They brought it into the game. Watch that back foot here.
0-2 from Cabrera. Yeah, let's take a look at this here, Trevor.
Yeah, see the back foot goes back, and basically that's just getting you into your back hip. It lets you hold that weight back, and have a little bit more of a recognition phase.
Cabrera's first strikeout today. Let's go back a few days ago to when Jose Cabrera learned he would be making his major league debut today.
Okay, let me ask you, would you rather start tomorrow here or Sunday in Arizona with the Diamondbacks?
Boy, what an incredible moment. There's that manager for the Reno Aces, Jeff Gardner, telling Cabrera he was getting the call to the big leagues. What a special moment. That's a moment that every player in the minor leagues hopes to someday get.
So far, so good for the 24-year-old. 4 in a row retired to start the game.
He's still got that smile on
Yeah,
his
he
face.
looks like he's having a good time up there. He probably hasn't realized where he's at right now.
You know, did you get the sense when we talked to Torrey about him before the game? Got the sense that they kind of slow played him a little bit, like sneaky prospect would be the way to describe what they have here.
Boy, he wasn't on the roster. We asked him in the meeting. I don't remember seeing him in a spring training game, and then all of a sudden here he is, making his debut up here, and a much-needed help for the Diamondbacks and for their pitchers.
He strikes out Brooks Lee, back-to-back punch-outs.
You know, it strikes me about Cabrera. He's one of those guys that he earned his way to the big leagues. Wasn't a big prospect that just gets pushed along no matter what happens. If you're a guy like him, you got to earn it. Kyler Fedko, another guy on the other side here that did the same thing for the Twins. But those are the guys you really root for.
2 quick outs for him on the strikeout, and here's Luke Keeschel, fresh off a 3-hit night yesterday. Keeschel has also been hot, 14 of his last 38 at the plate, and a ball and no strikes to him with the bases empty.
And being in the major leagues, these guys right now in that Minnesota Twins dugout, they're passing that information around what they're seeing, and their hitting coaches, they're trying to gauge as much as they can here on Cabrera for that second time around to get a second look at him.
Victor Caratini among the Twins getting a day off today. He's had a very busy first 2 games of the series. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Keeschel. Little excuse me foul pop for Vargas. 6 up, 6 down for Jose Cabrera this afternoon.
Making his first start, what stands out so far?
Yeah, his presence, his mound presence, by just standing up there and being ready for this challenge. He's filling up the strike zone and you know, getting some outs and getting to some footing after a tough day yesterday.
What's impressed you the most about him since he got here yesterday?
His demeanor. He's very present. He's very self-aware, and he's really excited for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt?
Caroline, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with the fact that he hasn't stopped smiling.
Look at him. I mean,
there's no worry here. You'd think a kid would be gripping it a little bit here.
was that coming off the mound after that last inning?
6 scores, 6 straight, retired. He's, you know, he just won the World Series.
This game's easy at the big league level, huh?
Scoreless ball game. And in the bottom half of inning number 2, Nolan Arenado leading things off against Mike Paredes, who had to pitch out of a little mini jam to start his afternoon. Stranded a couple of base runners in the first. So Arenado, Vargas, and Barossa for Arizona. I think another part of this component here, a kid making his major league debut in June in a starter's capacity, is the way he works with a catcher. And you could say the same thing with Mike Paredes, right? There has not been a ton of spring work with these batteries, and you can see that process kind of establishing itself on the bench there for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and I think that's really important too, to find out what his go-to pitches are in certain situations, what's working well for him today, and that's the process that these two guys are going through right now, just trying to feel everything out. Gabby's the catcher in today's ball game, wants to know what goes through his mind mentally in certain situations with runners on. I mean, he hasn't had a guy on yet after the first 2 innings.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nolan Arenado, and a breaking ball stays inside, ball 4. Second walk to start the ball game from the Twins right-hander.
Yeah, neither of these guys was in big league spring training. It kind of goes to show you where both these teams are at as far as trying to find starting pitching. There's been injuries. There's been a couple guys struggling. But they're getting opportunities, and that's, it doesn't matter how you get them. It's what you do with them.
Leadoff hitter aboard for the switch hitting first baseman here this afternoon, Ildemaro Vargas.
There's a good timeout right here by Alex Jackson. Again, Paredes usually in the zone, a guy that likes to try to get ahead of hitters. That has not been the case today.
Reminder, the FIFA World Cup 2026 lights up the U.S., Mexico, and Canada until July 19th. Experience every goal, every celebration, exclusively in Spanish on Telemundo and on Peacock. Business is brisk at the pool this afternoon.
Tried to get us to do the game out there. That would have been nice, huh, Matty? Little pool action
really?
on Father's Day. Would have been nice, right?
I don't know, man. Nobody wants to see the dad bod out there. Shirtless.
Well, they've been
calling the
doing
game.
it everywhere in every stadium. We would have fit right in.
That's true. Tarps off.
Tarps off. Ball and no strikes to Vargas.
I'm sure Sean Casey would have had a poster of you put up in his office.
That would have been, that's no fun for anybody.
Well, this is the guy who got out of the gates extremely hot to start the season. Big hitting streak to get going. He's come back down a little bit, but still getting big hits for the team.
It's pretty interesting how it kind of revolved back to him. The Diamondbacks bring in Carlos Santana in the offseason. He gets hurt. Pavin Smith has an injury. And I think Mike Hazen, the general manager of the Diamondbacks, and his staff kind of looked around and said, who's going to play first base? Oh, yeah, we got Ildemaro Vargas back here, an old friend. And I don't know that I've heard of a guy, Gonzo, that is more beloved in his clubhouse than Vargas. I mean, everybody loves Ildemaro.
Everywhere he's gone. I mean, you look at the former teams. He played for the Nationals a little bit. When they come into town, that's the first person they're looking for across the field. And you know that you're a good teammate when guys that you've played with are asking for you and want to see you out there on the field.
Well-timed visit from pitching coach Pete Mackey, as a couple of leadoff walks have put Mike Paredes in trouble here in the second inning.
I think Mackey's going out there just saying, hey, we got to slow down, use your defense behind you. Let's try to get strike one here. We are at the bottom of the lineup. You'd like to get 2 outs before you have to go face Murderer's Row there in Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll.
So now the switch hitter, Jorge Barrosa. Walks to Arenado and Vargas. Runners at first and second with nobody out. And Barrosa bunting foul.
This is a change here to see him kind of sacrificing early in the ballgame. I think Torrey just wants to give the kid on the mound maybe an early lead here so he can work with something, but not used to seeing this early in the ballgame from the Diamondbacks.
And Barrosa, a guy that loves to work the count as well. Bunting again, and he gets it down. It's a good one. Lita Lewis. Actually, that's Lita Keishel covering. 1 out, runners at second and third.
Yeah, bunts have been up this year, but not of the sacrifice variety. It's more of taking advantage of some defensive shifts, trying for that base hit bunt, which I believe should always be in the game. But you're right, the sacrifice bunt, especially this early on, not too common, but Torrey opts for it here.
Yeah, with the Diamondbacks club, you do see a lot more bunting for hits, like you said, but that was a little bit different.
So now the Twins bring their infield in for the rookie left fielder Tommy Troy.
You got any base hit bunts in your career?
I had a couple.
You got to show it.
Troy, a former infielder, converted out to an outfielder this past season.
And behind 0-2.
Have you noticed all the Twins broadcasters? They all come to the ball game with their gloves, right? You see that?
I'm glad you asked about that. It's a thing, I guess.
I'm ready to go. I got it on here. We're really close. I feel like we're in foul ball territory here, so I'm protecting.
You know what, guys?
guns,
this is what I come to the ballpark with right here. You
right
guys
there.
can bring the glove. I bring the bat to the ballpark.
That's kind of
Fair
our
enough.
game.
Fair enough. So if there's a foul ball up here, you're just going to get
He's
up.
got
and
us.
take
I hope he's got us covered. Either that, or I may try to take a swing at
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm hoping for. Because
Yeah, no bunts. No bunts anymore, all right? That's good stuff right there.
ball and 2 strikes to count to Tommy Troy.
11 bunt hits in your career?
11, is that what it was? There you go.
You said you had a few. Okay.
Got him on the breaking ball.
Boy, that's been one of the adjustments that he's really struggled with. Good fastball hitters, these young guys, when they come up. Early couple weeks when he got here, getting a lot of hits. As the league adjusts to the hitters, that's when that big league player has to figure it out a lot quicker. He's getting a lot of breaking balls middle away, and there you see another one.
Boy, threw him nothing but sweepers to strike him out. So with 2 gone now, a tough hitter to fade in Ketel Marte, who started the ball game for Arizona by flying to center field, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, Paredes really walking a tight rope these first 2 innings here. See if he can get out of this with no runs again.
First pitch changeup to Marte gets Paredes in front.
See, and that's one of the reasons I don't like swinging your first time up. He saw 1 pitch, popped up. Now he's got 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Now you've got to try to gauge in some of these pitches that you haven't seen up there at the plate.
Headed for the gap in right center. That's going to score a pair. Ketel Marte cashes in. He's thinking about third base. Throws on the brakes at second. Arizona strikes first on Father's Day.
Boy, he came right in there with that sweeper, right into that left-handed swing of Marte. Good location for Marte. Scooped it up and hit it out into right center field for a double to drive in a couple runs.
Yeah, the location has not been there. The command has not been there for Paredes today. Even the ball he struck Troy out on, that was kind of a backup slider, sweeper, if you will.
Arizona on the board first for the first time in their last 7 games. And now it's Perdomo. There's got to be a way to devise a stat. Barossa with the sac bunt there made it an easier opportunity for them to score 2 on the double. It's not, there's no statistical asterisk there, right? It's a sac bunt. That's what it goes down as.
Right.
But, you know, that's an important play in this 2-run rally so far. I'm surprised that the advanced metrics guys haven't figured out a way to come up with an, you know, X plus Y minus Z to give them extra credit for the sac bunt.
I think you'll call it a quality at bat.
We'll just suffice it at that. They're taking another look at this to see if in fact this was a foul ball off Perdomo's bat.
Well, Jackson went for a ball right away. He didn't run after that ball. He put his hand back and asked for another one right away. So he thought
it looks like it fouled off his bat right there.
Are they calling it 1-0 or 0-1?
I think the count is 0-1, and now they're changing it to 1-0.
Whoa.
So it was a ball. They looked at it again. It stays a ball.
I see a couple of guys in the Twins dugouts are pointing up at the scoreboard.
I think we're all a little confused as to what the count is. On the Jumbotron, they got it 1-1. On our bug, now 1-1. But they missed that one. If they called that first ball a ball.
1 ball and 1 strike on Geraldo Perdomo.
Yeah, like I said, Jackson immediately reached for another ball and didn't go after the original pitch.
And I think most umpires hit by pitches, foul balls, look for the reaction from the hitter. And I think when you saw the catcher reach back, that probably would have been your first indication that it probably fouled off his bat.
Into the opposite field. Larnach coming on hard, lays out and makes a great run-saving catch. Mike Paredes is buying Trevor Larnach dinner tomorrow night.
Way to lay out, big fella.
Jose Cabrera, a couple of strikeouts. He's retired all 6 Twins that he's faced, and the folks that get the baseball card world together are going to have their choice of which patch to cut up to put in the Jose Cabrera rookie card next year. And I bring that up because of all the clamor that was made around the Paul Skeens patch that was in his rookie card. It was only one in the top set a couple of years ago. And there's the first base runner against Cabrera, Ryan Kreidler, with a base hit up the middle. That Skeens card with a little segment of his rookie uniform patch went for over $1 million. I'm not sure how much of that Paul actually saw, but you know, it's an exciting thing, and maybe Jose Cabrera.
You still have that in the bank?
I wish.
Yeah, the Pirates offered a ton for that as well.
Season
tickets
yeah,
for
there was
life.
Yeah.
He's a special one.
Going to see him shorten up here out of the stretch now with the base runner aboard for the first time. Kreidler wasting no time running. Moreno's throw down is in time to get him.
Yeah, I thought it was savvy for Kreidler to take off first pitch on Cabrera as he finally gets into the stretch, but it looks like he's out. He got a good jump, but just a perfect throw by Moreno, and the tag. That's the tag right there that got him.
Yeah, good throw by Moreno. And, you know, obviously you think, looking back at it now, first base runner to get on, they take off early on Cabrera there. They might have something like he might be a little bit slower to the plate.
It's a pop time of 1.86 seconds. Those numbers are getting ridiculously low.
Yeah, that was a great pitch to throw on, a great transfer for him. And then again, Marte letting that travel. You don't want to reach out and grab that and bring it back. You let it travel and just go straight down, and a perfect catch and throw.
Counts a ball and a strike to rookie Kyler Fedko. And a 2 balls and a strike on the Yukon product.
Yeah, Fedko looking for his first major league hit.
950 OPS at AAA this year. Earned him a call up last week. And he's even now at 2-2.
I mentioned he's a guy, yes, he earned it. He wasn't a top prospect with the Twins, but he kept hitting at AAA and forced the hand.
Boy, after you play a couple games, you don't have a hit. You go to bed thinking about it. Every at bat, everything means so much to you. So you get that first one, then you really feel like you belong up there in the major leagues.
How long was it for you?
I can't really remember. I know I was a September call up in 1990. I remember where it was at. It was at Candlestick. Steve Bedrosian. Remember Bedrock?
Okay, yeah.
Cy Young Award winner.
Older veteran team out there. They didn't want to give me the ball. I asked for the ball. I was asking for the ball. Like, what was I going to do? Put it in my back pocket out at second base?
Little flare out to right. Run down by Marte. Thought we had it right there.
Yeah, have an inning. Could tell Marte. He ranged, I mean, I don't know, 120 feet to get this thing.
Boy, he's really done a good job this year coming out for early work, just working hard on his defense. That's one of the things that he's really talked about that he really wants to try to get is that Gold Glove.
2 gone now, and that'll bring up the catcher Alex Jackson, who wears one. A hit batsman gives the Twins a 2-out base runner here in the 3rd.
First pitch, he just loses it arm side right here. And
well, that ball just sailed right in on him.
I think it hit the pad. That's always good. A lot of times it misses those.
Did you wear a pad?
I started to wear one on my foot at the end of my career.
Give me your driver's license.
It was just for show. It was just for show.
I'm taking your man card away right now in the middle of the show.
It never hit it anyway. I just thought it looked cool. That's all.
The first pitch breaking ball starts. Trevor Larnach with a strike. You know what? I'm actually shocked at the number of guys that aren't wearing more protective gear. And if you saw what happened to Jazz Chisholm the other night, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think more guys are starting to wear the one on their hands too.
Yeah, hands are important. Those bones can break pretty easily.
That's not the one I'm talking about with Jazz.
Oh yeah. Well, you
Father's Day is in jeopardy.
You got to wear a cup, Jazz. What is he doing?
Yeah.
I get you got your glove in your hands to protect you, but.
Counts 0-2 on Trevor Larnach. Trying to pick up a modest 5-game hitting streak here today. That might do it. Carroll closing ground. He can't make the play. Jackson being held at third. Larnach into second with a 2-out double.
Yeah, look, kind of a tough send here. You see Larnach sneak it down. I thought Carroll was going to get to this ball. He ends up getting there and hits off his glove. I thought they'd send Jackson, but Ramon Borrego decides to hold him. I would have been a little bit more aggressive, maybe with 2 outs. But then you do see who's up to bat now.
Yeah, he held him up a little bit late there. You see him trying to round third base. That ball, Corbin just kind of got in kind of no man's land in between there. Wasn't sure if he could dive or run up to it to make a play, and it just bounced up on him and ricocheted off his leg to make it second and third.
The dangerous spot in the Twins lineup now with Byron Buxton. He flied to right in his first at bat, hit a grand slam yesterday, gave him a share of the American League home run lead with 24. And that's a surprising number. Just a $1.5 runners in scoring position this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I saw that number, I was kind of surprised myself. See a guy with all the potential that he has each and every time out there struggle with runners in scoring position. And maybe that could be they're pitching around him and you chase balls like he just did there out of the strike zone. He's trying to get those 2 runners in. There it is again.
Chased another sweeper.
Yeah, I just don't think he's seeing that pitch. Out of the hand, he's thinking it's a fastball away, and instead it's darting into the left-handed batter's box. But Byron with 24 homers, only 40 runs driven in on the year. And obviously that runners in scoring position average has something to do with it. But I also think that just means he's due. A guy of Byron's potential.
Jordan hit one today. And Buxton's a strikeout victim. Nothing to spin. Gets Cabrera out of a tight spot in the third. Still 2-0 Diamondbacks.
It's challenging to face a pitcher for the first time. How do you want to see your lineup adjust?
Yeah, I think the second time through we're going to have a better idea of what he's doing. He's throwing the ball well right now. The breaking ball's been good. He's been down in the zone. Overall, second time through, I think we got to get a better look at him.
Turning to your pitcher, what have you seen from Mike Paredes so far?
He struggled a little bit with his command, which is a little uncharacteristic. He's having a little trouble with the breaking ball. We just got to get him back on the plate.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Caroline, thanks. Yeah, Derek told us before the game in our meeting with him that we got a strike thrower. And again, so far hasn't been true to form, but plenty of chances here for him to turn it around today.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how many pitches he's going to go, but I think Shelty hit it on the head. The breaker really hasn't been in control for him, and that's how he's gotten into some trouble here.
He'll face the 3, 4, 5 part of the Arizona order in the bottom of the third. Diamondbacks on top 2-0. Carroll, Moreno, and Smith.
Carroll once again trying to ambush him on that first pitch. I like spending time with Shelty in the coach's room. You know, you see guys across the field, you don't really get to know them, and then sitting down there talking to them. Really great guy, great manager. He's been thrust upon a lot of young teams with the Pirates, now here with the Twins, trying to put this together here. Been with Tampa, he's been all over.
I think if somebody were to have told Derek as Carroll grounds sharply to first, good play by Lewis, making just his 11th career start at first base. I think if somebody had told Derek, you'll be within 2 games of a wild card spot in mid-June, and you'll have all these injuries to deal with. Oh, and by the way, last year before he got here, we fire-sailed 9 dudes and made ourselves lean, cheap, and young. He'd be like, okay, I'll be happy with that.
Sign me up, right?
Yeah, this might be too much information, but when he did get hired, I didn't love it. I wanted Torrey Hunter in that position. I don't think that was ever going to be the case. But now that I've spent some time around Shelty and talked to guys, they love him. And he's perfect for that clubhouse.
What he was talking to about with the young guys on this team, it's a old school baseball. They like sitting around after games, 8, 9 guys talking about the game of baseball and just watching other games, things like that. That's how you learn.
Yeah, typically after games, there's 3 buses. Very rarely, I get on the first bus as a broadcaster. Very rarely do you see any players on that first bus. They are hanging, they're talking about the game, they're doing their rehab stuff, and that's not really typical in the big leagues anymore. Most guys are in and out.
Well, you're right. You talk about that wild card division. I mean, they're right there with everybody. A game and a half out behind the Athletics and the Blue Jays and the White Sox. It's wide open.
I think the AL Central is still wide open, right? I know Tarek Skubal's back and that there's a little momentum for the Tigers, at least publicly. But Kansas City with a, terrible injury week, losing Vinny Pasquantino. Jose Ramirez down in Cleveland. It is an open race for both the wild card and the AL Central. 0-2 the count to Gabby Moreno.
I got to see the White Sox play against the Twins. I was very, very impressed with that team. And I actually said maybe 3 weeks ago, I think they are the favorite to win the American League Central. Their pitching has been getting a little bit exposed as of late, but I like the lineup dynamic they have there. And you could just never count the Guardians out, even without Jose Ramirez. They just find ways to win baseball games.
A couple of breaking balls, and it's a ball and 2 strikes now on Moreno.
Gabby's done a good job with 2 strikes, using the opposite side of the field, usually between first and second base, trying to hit that ball into right center field.
Line to shortstop for Kreidler. Well, let me ask you this, Trevor. How do you see the Twins behaving at the trade deadline this year? Because last year we all thought there'd be maybe a little paring down. We didn't see the fire sale coming. But this year they could be in a position to add. Is that in the future?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're going to try to add, and it takes 2 to tango. So, if they can't get the guys they want, I think at the very least they're going to stand pat. I don't see them making a ton of moves as far as giving players away at the deadline. Tom Pollard has come and taken control of this team, and he's trying to win fans back right now. And I just don't think you do that by trading away a Joe Ryan, or obviously Byron has a no trade clause, but I think he wants to add. They're right in the AL wildcard race, along with the AL Central race. So I know a lot of people want Joe Ryan and probably Ryan Jeffers. I don't think it's going to happen, in my opinion, at least.
Well, I think that's going to make Twins fans happy. They want to keep their guys. Beaten on the ground to first base. Lewis has it. And it's Mike Paredes' first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. Still 2-0 Arizona. Clemens here to watch his son Cody, who'll lead things off in the 4th. 7 Cy Youngs, that's all. No big deal.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He walks in, he's just a little bit larger than life, at least for me.
7 Cy Young.
Yeah, that's something, huh?
I mean, goodness gracious.
Looks like he's ready for a round of golf.
And his kids turn out to be position players.
That's right, all of them. And here's Cody leading things off in the 4th. Caroline Pineda talked to Cody before we went on the air, before the game began, and asked him about the start he's off to. He has become a big favorite of Derek Shelton. First of all, he's putting up great numbers, but his versatility is really special.
Yeah, Shelty called him a ball player. Michael Kadire used to say that to me. Sometimes you just got to be a ball player. Don't matter where they throw, you go play the game. And Cody is living that this year. Can play in the outfield, first base, third base, second base, and yeah, he's been hitting homers too.
His dad pitched with a little chip on his shoulder, so I think that kind of passed over that gene over to his son.
Can you imagine Roger Clemens throwing you BP as a kid? No wonder he's such a good hitter.
Yeah, right.
How'd you do against a Rocket, Gonzo?
I think I hit a homer. I may have one homer off of him, but I remember when I was in the American League my only year, I think he dusted me. It might have been after that, yeah.
You homered and then he came in?
And then yes, the next one I was wiping the seat of my pants off right there.
Was the homer at Tiger Stadium?
Tiger Stadium, yep.
Short porch and all?
Yeah, I used every bit of that porch. I don't think he was too happy, too.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cody Clemens. Lewis in lead to follow in a 2-0 Arizona lead. A couple of sharp hops for Marte. 1 gone.
How's he not eating my nuggets out at Gonzo's Grill out in left field? What the heck?
I think he's waiting for you to send some to him.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I don't even get any.
Where's my Gonzo nuggets?
How active are you on the grill?
I am not. You know what? That is for first responders.
For real?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I try to. I know everybody thinks that I'm pocketing that money. That's no chance.
Good short hop play by Perdomo. Wow, he made that look way too easy.
Yeah, especially on this turf, that second bounce is going to come hot. So you got to get there, make sure you're getting that short hop. Any in-between hops here, you're going to be praying with the glove, but Perdomo goes. And Carlos Correa used to say that there's no such thing as a bad hop, it's just bad footwork. You go take that hop out of it, short hop, and you can field anything.
Yeah, these guys do a lot of early work. I mean, it's more of a veteran group out there at third, short, and second base. First base has kind of been a revolving door right now, but these guys are out there. I mean, they're veteran guys. Most veteran guys say, I'm not taking ground balls today or take the day off. These guys have really been out there working at their craft, and that's why they're some of the tops in the game.
I think you see that around the league. The defensive work pregame is more prevalent than ever, and hitting on the field is probably, they don't do it as much anymore. A lot of that's done in the cage.
I'll be honest, that as a fan, that bums me out. You buy a ticket to see the Angels or the Dodgers or the Yankees. You want to see Mike Trout, you want to see Judge, you want to see Shohei on the field taking BP, and it's very rare. Chopper out to second base. Marte stays perfect, and it's a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4th, authored by Jose Cabrera. 4 shutout innings in his major league debut. So All-Stars this year. Scan the QR code to cast your 2026 Konami eBaseball MLB All-Star ballot daily, or visit MLB.com/vote. And with that, it is an 8-time All-Star that leads things off in the Diamondbacks half of the 4th. Nolan Arenado, Ildemaro Vargas, and Jorge Barosa in a 2-0 Diamondbacks lead, bottom half of inning number 4. Arenado takes a strike, walked and scored in the 2-run second. Nolan's next homer will break a 2-way tie he occupies on the all-time list with Joe DiMaggio.
Wow.
When you start passing those guys,
Yeah.
they're paying attention in Cooperstown. Rocket back up the middle. A solid single opens the home 4th. But let's talk a little bit about All-Stars. And Trevor and Luis Gonzalez have both obliged with their All-Stars this year.
You guys are trying to get us in trouble, man. People are not going to be happy.
I'm eyeballing this. I like both of the lists. What's not to like?
Yeah, I think first base is tough because you got Nick Kurtz there, and you can go with Ben Rice if you're a Yankees fan. And Kevin McGonigal's played some short and third base, but I just like what I see from him in his rookie year. I think catcher also, you can talk Shea Langeliers up there for me, and then no Judge, but he's just been out for too long for me.
Yeah, I really struggled the DH part. Schwarber's having an unbelievable year. I could put him in there instead of Shohei. Throw Shohei on the pitching side. And for me in the outfield, Juan Soto and Woods, they're both having great years too. So those were other guys that I really tossed up there, wanting to put them on the ballot.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You know, my enduring complaint when you talk about All-Stars and who's deserving and who's not. We learn about the All-Stars when the vote results are made public. And then the first conversation is who got snubbed. We never celebrate dudes that actually made it. Counts a ball and 2 strikes on Vargas. Well, you went 5 times, Gonzo, to the All-Star game. And here's another one of my complaints. I don't want to be that guy today, but guys that go to multiple All-Star games, you start hearing about, I don't know if he wants to play this year. I don't know if he wants to go this year. How did you feel when you were going to your 4th and 5th?
I was excited just to be there. I mean, you're recognized by the fans, and your peers out there as one of the elite players in the game right there, and you're having it's tiring a little bit, you know, all the other festivities and things that you do, but you don't play this game forever, and for you to have an opportunity to bring your family and friends and people out to the game, it's a special moment. You may not cherish it when it's your 10th or 11th as it was your first or second, but your family and friends and people around the game do just as much as you do.
Jorge Barroso now with 1 out and 1 on.
Yeah, we got 5 total All-Star games in this booth. That's pretty good. All right.
Well, I know that we talked to Derek Shelton about the red carpet parade that's become a part of the weekend now, the festivities. And, you know, there's usually a theme, and about how when he was on the coaching staff first time around, it was in Seattle, and the theme was grunge rock, and it was right in his wheelhouse. He and his family did their whole Pearl Jam thing. This year in Philly, the theme for the parade is America's 250th birthday. So I think there's a wide open interpretation on how one could dress for that.
You're going to be out there, right?
I'm going to be out there. I'll be on the red carpet with my good buddy Chris Rowe. So I'm gonna see what Shelty's got. You mentioned the founding fathers look. He's got the white beard. He's got the look already, kind of in-house.
Barroso with a chopper. Keishel smothers, gets it to second for 1, but Kreidler has no chance at a relay throw. They do cut down the lead runner. 2 gone with a runner aboard.
You know what I love about this play is Keishel understands we ain't getting 2 here. So let me make sure I get a little bit of a grip on this and give it to Kreidler in the back of the base where he's got room to maneuver. You're not going to get a double play ball here, so make sure you get that lead out, and he did.
Well, the Twins are really flashing some leather in this game. You saw the Diamondbacks do it earlier in the series, too. A couple outfield plays.
Tommy Troy into left center, and Larnach closes in on that one to retire the side. Through 4 in Phoenix, Diamondbacks on top 2-zip. Baseball in the fight against prostate cancer by learning about prostate health and ways you can support. Visit MLBtogether.com/Father's Day to learn more. Father-son work going on around the ballpark today. We saw Mickey Wheeler and Mickey Wheeler Jr., first base cameraman, all the blue gear in play today, as it has been for a long time throughout our sport. Baseball doing such a good job for prostate cancer research on Father's Day, breast cancer research on Mother's Day. Yeah, we welcome you back to a 2-0 Diamondbacks lead. Keishel, Kreidler, and Fedko here for the Twins in the 5th. How would you guys have been with the blue bats? I mean, this was happening when you guys played. Did you ever use the blue gear?
We didn't have too much of it like we do now. I think I don't think I changed my bat too much. That's my craft.
You were superstitious.
Yeah, very much
okay.
So. I don't remember a lot of guys going up there with different colored bats. I think like you see now, you see Marte, all these guys, they're geared up with, they get to represent a little bit of a piece of them, of where they've come from. And
high and deep to center field, but playable for Barroso.
Let's take a look at Capital One checking accounts. We're talking no fees, no minimums, just one question. What's in your wallet?
You know, when it started out, I believe it was just bats and maybe some wristbands.
Yeah.
And then it's expanded now. Cleats, catcher's gear. And at the very beginning, I believe it was only guys that swung Louisville. They had the rights to Father's Day and all of those kind of days, Mother's Day as well. And then eventually enough guys complained that every bat company was able to do it.
Oh, interesting. We got back-to-back blue bats here for the Twins in the 5th as Ryan Kreidler's involved with the blue shillelagh.
There they are. I agree with you, though. If I had a bat that was working for me, I think I'm sticking with it, and I'll use my blue one in the cage and scuff it up a little bit.
Ball and 2 strikes on Kreidler. Dad Mark, a noted sports writer, and I'm sure watching today. Used to cover the San Diego sports scene with the Union Tribune in the Tony Gwynn era Padres days. He's written no fewer than, I believe, 6 books,
wow,
including a couple of baseball books. Yeah. In fact, the Twins have a couple of guys batting 7 and 8 whose dads are involved in sports media, because behind Brian Kreidler, Kyler Fetko's dad John, a sportscaster. Popped up, way up for Perdomo. You ever hit the roof here, Gonzo, in BP or anything?
Nope, never did. I think I've only seen one kind of go through, the rails up there, but not too many.
Yeah, that's pretty high up there.
Arizona bullpen getting a little work now behind Cabrera, who's an out away from his 5th shutout inning, and he's going to get it on a first pitch fly ball to Fedko. If it's the end of the assignment, he finishes with 7 straight retired and 5 shutout innings. The FanDuel Live same game odds, and you could put some of this stuff together in a same game parlay. These are live numbers. You could put down money on the number of pitches, the result of the plate appearance. Feeling frisky, plus 440 to strike out. I imagine only Twins fans would do that. And here we go with Ketel Marte leading things off. Carroll batting 3rd. Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll in the 5th. Arizona on top 2-zip. Ketel Marte has both of the runs batted in this game. A 2-run, 2-out double in the 2nd. And that's been the difference.
Well, I think if you had that situation later in the game, he might have chose to walk him there because he had first base open with 2 outs. With a 0-0 game early in that ball game in the 2nd inning. Pitched to him, threw him a little sweeper down the middle part of the plate, and he was able to hit it to right center.
Let's take you back to the bottom of the 2nd.
Boy, that just broke right into his barrel there for a left-hander. You like that ball down in the strike zone. Just a perfect location for him to drop the bat head on it and hit it to right center field for a double. Drive in a couple runs.
You know, all things considered, we got a couple guys here who weren't really sure what we're going to get as far as starting pitching and length, and Jose Cabrera has been exceptional, and Paredes has worked his way in and out of some jams, but only 2 runs so far. I think they've both exceeded expectations. Cabrera, obviously, he's been fantastic.
Marte's got his 2nd knock of the day. His hands are so quick.
Well, you'll see this pitch, just another one down in that strike zone. Just kind of reaches out, scoops it up, and shoots it right back up the middle for a base hit, line drive.
Yeah, that one, the changeup, the off speed not fooling Ketel Marte today.
Aboard to start the 5th. It's the 3rd time in 5 innings that the Diamondbacks have put their leadoff hitter aboard, and now it's Perdomo.
Looks like we got a pitch clock violation. Paredes did not lock eyes in time.
So 1-0 the count on Perdomo.
And now with a hold.
On the ground at first. Lewis to Kreidler. Back to Lewis for the double play. I'll tell you what, Royce Lewis looks like he's played a ton of first base.
It's not an easy position. People think you just put whoever you want over there. That's just not the case. This is a great play by Royce. He's made this throw a couple times on this road trip. Strong throw, gets back to the base. I like the hold by Paredes right there. Gets the ground ball. And you know who worked with him down in AAA? Justin Morneau. On his own time went over there and sat with Royce and said, here's the ins and outs, big fella.
That's nice.
Corbin Carroll now with 2 out and the base is empty. Yeah, as we mentioned, Lewis is making just his 11th career start at first base, and what a whole different world that would open up for the Twins if they can occasionally, or even more than occasionally, rely on Royce over there.
I mean, right now, that's just where he's going to play. Brooks Lee is going to be at third base, and that leaves first base basically the place that Royce can get into the lineup, and he's looked good.
Boy, that was a great play. Not only that, most first basemen, when they make that throw to second, they follow the throw. He had their whereabouts to go back and cover first, not even let Paredes get into that situation, trying to get that second out over at first base.
Get those pitchers out of there.
Yeah.
Carroll behind 0-2. Derek Shelton spoke very highly of Lewis's attitude when he went down for the AAA reassignment. Went down there, didn't complain, did his work. He said it didn't hurt that he went down there and had immediate success. And he was back up here in a hurry. Carroll bounces it to the right side past Keyshaw. And it's a 2-out single for Corbin in the 5th.
This one just barely snuck through right there by Keyshaw. Nice diving play attempt again. Starting to feel that turf a little bit. You see him getting up a little slower there.
Yeah, you can tell that he's just not used to the ball coming that quickly. Angle, you could have back angled that just a little bit more. You had time. I know Carroll can run, but at second base you have time.
So now Gabby Moreno. Arizona's been very aggressive on the first pitch today so far, and that's unusual. I mean, they got a couple of guys, Gonzo, and you've talked about it. Marte and Carroll are always aggressive on the first pitch, but as a team, they have the lowest first pitch swing rate in the National League. They've been much more aggressive collectively here today. 1-1.
Well, I'd like to see Corbin try to get a good jump here, try to get him to second base with 2 outs, try to get that runner into scoring position there so Gabby could use that right field hole over there that he likes to use between first and second.
That's Cody Lawyerson up in the bullpen for Minnesota. Both bullpens are active here in the middle stages of the afternoon. Chopper, that one gets over Royce. He had no chance at that. Corbin to third easily, and here come the Diamondbacks with 2 out in the inning.
Yeah, not much you can do if you're Royce here. You got to hold Corbin on so you're in on that cut of the turf, and that one just takes a big hop right in front of the plate.
Boy, that 4-seam fastball really beat Gabby Moreno. He took that one practically out of Jackson's mitt.
Those knocks feel good.
Yeah, they do.
When you get beaten, you still find the outfield grass.
Here's an opportunity for Pavin Smith once again. Runner in scoring position, try to get a big 2-out hit.
2 ground balls to the right side of the infield for Smith this afternoon so far. First and third with 2 gone.
You see Paredes again with the long hold there, and I really, if I was a pitcher, I would do that a lot, and as a hitter, I would hate it. You got to be engaged with 8 seconds left, so these guys can make you hold for a good 6-7 seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're in the box, it's like an eternity.
Yeah, it's all about timing when you're up there at the plate.
Smith to the opposite field. Larnach has it to retire the side. 2 more left, stranded by Paredes through 5. It's still 2-0 Arizona. NBC and Peacock with the Travelers Championship. The world's best players will face off for a share of a $20 million purse live next Saturday, 3 Eastern, and next Sunday, 4 Eastern on NBC and Peacock.
What are you doing, Gonzo?
What a mess. Shirt hanging out, golf club. This is what I bring to the yard right here, this bat.
Hey, look at Alex Jackson.
And Alex Jackson bunts for a base hit to start the 6th inning for the Twins.
I mean, anybody that knows me knows I love a base hit bunt attempt. I had my guy Dalton Feely send me a note. I had 8 in my career. I wish I had more. But you get Jose Cabrera, out of his comfort zone. Go make him field his position. Third baseman back. I just think there's a lot of things you can gain by even attempting base hit bunts.
Feel like Torrey was going to give him the first batter regardless of the outcome, and with a couple of scary lefties due up here, the Diamondbacks will go to the bullpen. What a major league debut for Jose Cabrera. A day he will never forget. Leaves with a runner on after 5+ of shutout baseball. Family among those. Big smiles. Diamondbacks extract one of their lefty specialists, 26-year-old Brandon Garcia, to try to get a couple of tough lefties here. Trevor Larnach bunting. Garcia to first. Never lost his cool and gets Larnach by a step. Back-to-back bunts, one for a base hit and then a sacrifice. Have a runner at second with one gone.
Maybe the Twins Herbie said, I love bunts for base hits. Larnach almost beats this one out. Lefty-lefty matchup, trying something. I don't hate it.
Sink, sweep, slide against Brandon Garcia. And that sinker's heavy, averages 97 miles an hour with it. And he uses it to get Byron Buxton to send a chopper to Marte for round number 2. So the runner aboard is the responsibility of Jose Cabrera, but boy, what a terrific outing in his major league debut. 5 scoreless innings to date. Again, that runner is his responsibility. But he gave Torey Lovullo everything he could ask for this afternoon.
Yeah, and a much needed appearance by him to come out there and give him at least 5.
Cody Clemens now.
It tells you how much Torey trusted him to go back out there. Usually a young guy like that, through 5, you just let him kind of ride off into the sunset, but he's pitching so well. He said, hey, go get one more for me if you can.
Boy, and the emotions of the game when he was walking off that field.
That was awesome.
Happiest guy in the world. He's still got a smile on his parents and family in the stands. Father's Day. It's the best gift you can ever give a dad right there.
Diamondbacks front office already scheduling autograph appearances at Fry's and in the cold and flu aisle at CBS.
Don't send Derek Hall over there.
He's going to become a fan favorite very quickly if he performs like that. 2-out runner at third for Clemens. Twins went 11 for 19 with runners in scoring position last night. A little different feeling afternoon here today. 2-2. By the way, one last note on Cabrera. The longest scoreless debut for an Arizona starter before what Cabrera did belonged to Ryan Nelson, who went 7 shutout innings at San Diego in his debut in 2022. And ironically, Cabrera is taking Nelson's spot in the rotation today. Clemens is swinging a miss. At runner left stranded. Still 2-0 Diamondbacks. This Father's Day installment of Sunday Leadoff on Peacock is brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Thanks to some of the players sending in father-son photos for our telecast here today. Nolan Arenado and his dad Fernando, and it is Nolan that leads things off in a 2-0 Diamondbacks lead here in the 6th inning. Back with Luis Gonzalez, Trevor Plouffe, and Caroline Pineda. Matt Vasgersian wishing you at home a happy Father's Day. Arenado, Vargas, and Barossa here for the Diamondbacks. And Caroline has a little bit more
Carroll calls Nolan Arenado one of his favorite teammates he's ever had. It's high praise, but Corbin told me it's just been so impressive to watch him work. By the second week of the season, Nolan was sending Corbin videos working on his swing from hotel rooms on road trips. And in response to being told he's one of Corbin's favorite teammates ever, Nolan said, well, the feeling is mutual. Corbin is special and fun to watch. He's going to be good for a really long time.
Yeah, Caroline, one of the things that you hear about Nolan Arenado is that wherever he's gone, whether it's Denver, St. Louis, here in the desert, he is always the hardest worker. I mean, 100 extra swings more than the guy that usually takes more swings. He's that kind of work ethic.
Yeah, he uses a lot of processing and studying tapes, and really big side of the mental part of the game was with Nolan. Taking ground balls. He doesn't do the routine ground balls. He likes the ones hit left, right, into the batter's box over there, throwing that. He's one of the best at moving his feet, making those throws across the diamond.
And he has had some memorable Father's Day outings. June 18, 2017, hit for the cycle, finished it with a slam. And there was a moment at the end of this game when the Rockies walked off the Giants where a bloodied Nolan Arenado with a fist up in the air, kind of just right here, it's coming here. And it turned into a t-shirt, a bumper sticker. That's the look right there. I mean, that's kind of beginning of the legend of Nolan Arenado. 5 Father's Day homers, more than any other active player.
I think a lot of people think about the platinum gloves right away when you think of Nolan Arenado, but the offensive numbers are also just incredible. He is an all-time great.
Quick 0-2 count on Ildemaro Vargas. And Vargas slaps that one into the opposite field. Larnach's been busy. That one's off his glove. Vargas to second, wide turn. And Arizona has a runner in scoring position with one gone.
Yeah, Larnach's been really busy, as you mentioned. This one, you typically think it's going to continue to go towards the foul line when a lefty goes to left field, and Larnach just overran that one. He got there in plenty of time, but instead of reaching out in front of him, that one ended up over his head. As you see, he kind of has to reach back for it even, and just misplays it. Just an overrun by Larnach right there.
Yeah, he thought he had it. Ball just kind of took off on him there at the end.
0-1 the count to Jorge Barrosa, and the action is so fast we haven't had a chance to tell you about Cody Lorison, who's on in relief, making his 14th appearance of the year here this afternoon.
Yeah, predominantly four-seam fastballs, 68% worth of those, and he's got a cutter and changeup to build off of that.
Still haven't scored that play out in left field, I think.
What do you have it as?
I'm a left fielder. I give that a hit. I think that ball took off on him, really. I mean, he was at his peak jumping for it. I know he thought he had it.
Oh, yeah, me and you as two hitters, we want the knock.
Oh, for sure.
We want the knock. I think Cody might disagree on the mound.
I think they gave him a base hit. And it's 3 balls and a strike on Jorge Barrosa. Yeah, Vargas would love it to be a hit. He's kind of cooled off here in the middle of June.
And don't think the players aren't peeking up at that board when, when you're reaching the base. You know, you're all cool like you're checking the outfielders, but you're really looking up at the board trying to figure out if they gave you a knock or not.
High fly ball out to right center. Fedko and Clemens negotiating. Clemens makes the catch. Vargas tagging up and advancing on out number 2. How many times in between the two of you guys, a good 30 years of major league playing experience, how many times did you call the press box after a game?
Call? I'd be yelling at him from first base up there. What are you talking about? Players used to do that all the time. I'm sure you remembered that. That's why you're saying it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're talking about looking up at the scoreboard, and sometimes you're looking up, where's that official scorekeeper?
Yeah, you're trying to find the guy up there.
And you're just going, hey, man, are we at home or what?
I mean, you used to physically see players standing on the field, like looking up at the press box with their arms thrown up in the air. And then the hitting coach knows that you're going to wear them out when you get in there.
What a play by Keishel to save a run in the 6th. Corbin Carroll snuck a ball past him in the 5th. Almost the same exact bouncer here in the 6th. This time Keishel closes the door to keep Arizona off the scoreboard. So to All-Star Week, the Phillies play host, and it all starts with the HBCU Swingman Classic July 10th on MLB Network. On the 11th, it's the opening rounds of the draft. And on July 12th, baseball's top prospects take the field in the All-Star Futures game. Catch both of these on NBC and Peacock. The 13th, Home Run Derby on Netflix. And it all culminates with the 96th Midsummer Classic, Citizens Bank Park, Tuesday, July 14th on Fox. Juan Murillo is the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks. And we finally have an official scoring decision on that ball out in left field. It was scored in error.
Oh.
Sorry, boys.
You got 24 hours, right?
I think so. Yeah. Start lobbying now. Royce Lewis leads things off. Twins looking for something here offensively. Shut down on 3 hits through 6, top of the 7th inning. And it's Lewis, Lee, and Keishel against the right-handed reliever. Back up the middle and down for a base hit. Lewis has his first hit of the day.
Well, you could really see ever since he's come back from AAA, he's really done a great job of just adapting back. Maybe just a change of scenery sometimes will do that for you. You go down there. What did he hit, like 6 or 7 home runs in 13, 14 games or something crazy like that?
Look, the first time Royce Lewis ever struggled at baseball was at the big league level. And sometimes when you get up there, you start to spin in your mind, and you do need to go down and this isn't the right word for it, but you eat your slice of humble pie, you make your adjustment, and you come back up. And anytime someone gets sent down to AAA, and I know them, I like to send the text, you're not the only person this happens to. This is a very common thing. Everybody has to go through it.
0-1 the counts of Brooks Lee.
Because sometimes you feel like the whole world's watching you, and hey, I'm never going to get back up, and I can't believe I'm getting sent out of here. And then you just have to realize that there's very, very few people who get to the big leagues and never go back.
There's a lot of pressure in that. I mean, Lewis was a 1-1. First pick in the draft. So that already in itself is, you got the weight of the world on you already, because everybody's just expecting you're an automatic big league guy going to play for 20 years up there. It's not that easy.
Triple-digit velocity has Murillo in front, ball and 2 strikes. And Lee wanted a moment to think about that last heater. They going back to it here?
I'll tell you, he's been a valuable guy for Torrey coming out of that pen. He's kind of stabilized everything. He was kind of getting over abused early in the season, and they had to back him down a little bit, shut him down for a couple days just to give him some rest, because Torrey was relying on him so much in that middle part of the game, kind of that bridge guy to get to the closer.
Is this a guy they think could close in the future? I mean, he's got closer stuff. Strikes out Lee. 3 straight 100-mile-an-hour 4-seamers.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's got the velocity to do it. He's been a little erratic at times, and now he's starting to zone it back in. There you see a pitch out of the zone, but when you're throwing that hard, it makes it hard for that hitter up there to kind of get a good swing at it.
So now Luke Keishel hitless so far today after a 3-hit Saturday night.
That's why everyone's so enamored with velocity, because you just have more margin for error. A guy that doesn't throw as hard, who's erratic, isn't going to have success. But because the swing decisions have to become so fast, guys make poor ones.
Popped up for out number 2.
Yeah, and I think a big misconception too with guys that throw hard, you automatically think, oh, they're going to get to the big leagues because they throw 100. That doesn't necessarily happen. I mean, You can go down to the minors. There's a boatload of guys that throw 100, but they can't throw strikes. You can't afford to bring those guys up here and walk guys and give free passes, extra outs out there. It's going to cost you ball games in the big leagues.
So after the leadoff single, a strikeout and an infield pop, and now Ryan Kreidler with 2 gone. Kreidler singled and was caught stealing in the 3rd and popped out in the 5th. This is a Twins lineup that over its last 8 games entering play today had scored 66 runs. Granted, 16 of those came yesterday, but they have been kept quiet in large part because of Jose Cabrera's outstanding work in his major league debut. Then Brandon Garcia, now Juan Murillo out of the bullpen. Oh, 0-2 to Kreidler.
They've had a few opportunities today, but not many. Cabrera did such a good job at the beginning of this game. The 2 guys that have come in the game so far, especially Murillo here, have just been nasty.
And that will get through into right field. Lewis takes the turn on his way to 3rd. Runners at the corners in the Twins half of the 7th.
A beautiful swing by Kreidler here. A little shooter in the hole. Gets past Marte. That's what you got to do when some guy's throwing 100 at you. You got to use the whole field. And Royce with a good read right there goes first to 3rd. Now I think we're going to see a pinch hitter here. Looks like Josh Bell is going to take over for Kyler Fedko.
Boy, what a perfect time for the Twins to deploy a big weapon and a guy that's been red hot. And a chance with runners at the corners and 2 gone. It will be Josh Bell to pinch hit.
Yeah, he's been great. He's really found his stride as of late. He's got some big time pop, the ability to drive in runs. 47 of them on the year already. And just a veteran, a guy that's been around the game for a long time. No moment's too big for him. Not a lot of time coming off of the bench, but when you can put one of your best hitters up in a situation like this, you take that chance.
Bell's in the midst of a great road trip, 9 for 21 through Arlington and here in Phoenix. Former Diamondback for a short moment in time. And a guy that doesn't have a whole ton of pinch hit at bats this year because he's usually out there to start. He's 1 for 5 off the bench. He's got Lewis at 3rd, Kreidler at 1st. 2 out in a 2-0 deficit for the Twins. And here we go.
It's a nice stop by Moreno right there. Loving that one.
And this is where Rio just tries to overthrow that slider, those breaking ball pitches. Everything about him is with velo, so he tries to extra grip on it and don't want him to spike it here.
Ball with no strikes to the 33-year-old vet. That's headed for the gap. That's trouble for Arizona. Barossa cuts it off quickly. A run comes in to score, and the Twins are on the board in the 7th. But credit Jorge Barossa for getting into the gap and preventing any additional damage.
Absolutely a great play. A nice piece of hitting by Josh Bell. You get that first pitch off speed to get ahead in the count 1-0. You get the change up there. Shoots it into the left center field gap, and you're right, Barossa. If he doesn't cut that ball off, this game is tied.
Alex Jackson now. Back-to-back 2-out hits. I know that I hear pitching coaches talk about this all the time. It's not the pitch, it's the location of the pitch. But we just watched this right-hander throw 4 straight 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. And he goes slider change up to Josh Bell and got beat with his secondary stuff.
Try to overthink the game.
That one's through, and Minnesota has tied it in the 7th. Bell on his way to 3rd. Throw there, gets away. Minnesota has taken a 3-2 lead.
There's just a lot that just happened right there. Alex Jackson takes a 99-mile-an-hour sinker and shoots it the other way. The Twins hitter's doing a good job of using the whole field. Josh Bell takes off for third, and I thought he was going to be gunned out by a mile. Gets on his horse there. The ball does hit him. That's what I thought happened. Ends up hitting him in the wrist, and all of a sudden he was going to go home. The ball goes into the dugout. Marte frustrated, and the Twins do have the lead 3-2. Wow.
That's a terrible break for the Diamondbacks, because you're right on that, Trevor. I mean, the ball was going to beat him there. He's out at third base. But instead, he is awarded home plate, and Minnesota has their first lead of the ball game.
Well, you think about it, too. If Bell's a veteran guy, you would have thought he would hold up at second, but he's challenging that arm on Corbin Carroll. Probably, I would guarantee you, he's running from second and third, trying to read the eyes on Nolan Arenado to see where he's at in that path and trying to get into that base path. See if that ball could hit him and ricochet somehow.
See, he's having a ton of fun. Yeah, I don't know. If he goes back and looks at the video, I don't think he makes the same decision again right there, but it ends up playing in the Twins' favor.
But you know, as a runner, when you're coming around, you're looking to see where that third baseman is, if he's going to take that throw on the outfield side or the infield side. You see him just kind of cutting it off. Nolan tried to run on the inside part of that bag.
Yeah, and you got to give him the base when he's sliding in, and Nolan was set up. He kind of gets to the side there where the ball's going to end up. He's ready to make the tag, and Josh's hand just gets in the way. That's all that happened right there. Very unfortunate play for the Diamondbacks.
Two big 2-out hits there. Put the Minnesota Twins on top.
So it's scored as an RBI single, and the error gets charged to Corbin Carroll on the throw. Really unfortunate error. Looking for more now is the top of the order, Trevor Larnach, a 3-run inning for Minnesota. Larnach has doubled, extending a modest hitting streak to 6 today. Four hits in the inning against a guy who's been pretty reliable out of the Arizona bullpen this year.
Yeah, not a lot of hard contact, but again, a good job of the Twins hitters using the entire field.
Byron Buxton next, and Murillo doesn't want this to get any further, and that one misses low. It's 2 balls and a strike. So among the things that will go away today, a decision for Jose Cabrera in his major league debut. And now the Diamondbacks are just concerned about holding it here and trying to come back. 2-1. Beaten on the ground slowly. Marte just gets it to first base in time. Altogether, however, 3 in the Minnesota half of the 7th. A key pinch hit RBI single among the damage. The Twins have their first lead of the afternoon.
A night baseball. Mets. He was not going to wait around. Phillies. Another one. My goodness. Wow.
Sunday night baseball tonight. Juan Soto and the Mets in Philly to take on Bryce Harper and the home side. Sunday night baseball on NBC and Peacock. Series tied at 1 game apiece. They were off on Friday. The rare day off on a Friday to accommodate World Cup soccer. And Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phils tonight. Goodwin on Sunday night baseball. Goodwin here, and the Twins have risen up with a 3-run rally in the 7th to take their first lead of the day. Andrew Morris, the new pitcher for Minnesota, going to work on the top of the Diamondbacks order. Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll.
Well, this is the part of the order where you want Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll. They're primarily most part of that damage for the Diamondbacks.
Ketel Marte with a couple of hits today so far. A ball and a strike from Morris. A couple of other changes for the Twins. Austin Martin takes over in right. And that moves Cody Clemens to center. That's Clemens' versatility once again paying a dividend for the Twins. I mean, they've got their version of Cody Bellinger here.
Yeah, he hadn't played any form of center field until, I believe, earlier this year. Just got thrown out there. But he can do it all. And Andrew Morris now in the game. The overall numbers don't look great, but that was because one outing in Chicago where he kind of just ate it and kept throwing in a tough game. But he's been thrust into some high leverage situations as of late for the Twins.
Marte to center field, chasing Clemens at the track. He makes a great grab. 109 miles off the bat, and Cody ran it down.
And there's the rocket.
That's a great play. Watch him track this ball down. That ball's running away from him here. He just gets a good beat on it. It's tough for an outfielder too. He hasn't played many games here in this ballpark, and you're playing in center field. There you see Marte giving a little tip of the cap.
He doesn't mean that.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't mean that at all.
Perdomo now spun around on a heater.
Yeah, you hit one 109 off the bat, you want to knock.
Yeah, you're definitely not getting a Christmas card from him.
Perdomo 1 for 3 this afternoon.
You know, I think I'm like most people. I struggle to understand defensive metrics on a whole. You know, they're difficult. What does that mean right there? You think about the difference in the ball game. That ball gets past Cody Clemens. Marte's on third base at the very least.
But you're not alone in your difficulty to understand defensive metrics. I mean,
I don't even try to figure it out, to be honest with you.
Even the metrics people have a hard time with defensive metrics. There are a lot of different ways to do this. Outs above average, ultimate zone rating. I think we've tried. There's no standardized gold medal standard for it.
I asked my good buddy Eno Saris, who is my go-to analytical person in baseball, and I said, how long before those defensive metrics aren't a small sample size anymore? And he told me it usually takes 3 years for it to normalize. So do with that what you want.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Perdomo. Corbin Carroll next with 1 out and the base is empty in a 1-run game.
Boy, and that's a pitch a year ago. Perdomo would have been all over. There you see just a little bit behind on that sinker.
Let's see if Morris stays with the firm stuff here. The next 3-2 home. He did, and he missed with it. Summer belongs to the Villa. Get ready for a sizzling new season of Love Island USA, hosted by Ariana Madix. Streaming now only on Peacock. Tying run aboard on the 1-out walk. And now Corbin Carroll, who's got a walk and a single on his line today. Perdomo running on the first pitch. Jackson's throw down is there waiting for him.
Boy, if he would have gone when he originally wanted to, it looked like he took off and stopped. He was trying to read the timing there. Obviously, that's a big throw out. Get that lead runner out there with nobody on now for Corbin Carroll. We've seen both catchers make good throws today down to second base.
They call that the vaulted jump, and you see it all around baseball now, and a lot of times it will work, but when you do get caught stopped like that, your momentum is completely gone. It's hard to pick it back up. Gets off right here, has to stop, and then goes again. So Gons, you're talking about if he just kept kind of going right there with that momentum, that's what that lead's meant for.
Yeah, they usually do that on that timing, but they do get a couple hops and then they take off running. He took that first one and just stopped. That's a big play right there late in the ball game, especially with the core part of your lineup up. Instead of being in scoring position now, there's nobody on.
And you're kind of already in scoring position with Corbin Carroll at the plate.
In and out of trouble is Andrew Morris in the 7th. On to the 8th. Twins lead it by a run. Plays of the game, both on the defensive side of the ledger. First, Luke Keeschel saving a run by getting Corbin Carroll early on. Getting, beg your pardon, Tommy Troy. And then more recently, this great catch in center field by Cody Clemens, who had just moved to center moments earlier. 2 big plays in a 1-run game.
Those always make the manager look good, right? When you move a guy over and then he makes a great play like that.
Pushing the right buttons. Cody will bat second as we go to the top of the 8th inning. 32-year-old right-hander Kevin Ginkel on. In his 8th season, all of them in the desert. Good numbers, and one of Troy Lavello's more reliable leverage guys out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Strike 1 to Byron Buxton.
Well, his job right here is to try to hold this meat part of the order for the Minnesota Twins down. 3-2 ball game.
Slider, slider, slider. Over half of the repertoire from Ginkel is that very pitch.
Seems like that's all that Byron's seen today, and he's been swinging at it, so they're going to continue to throw it down there, not for strikes at all. They're trying to get in the chase, and he has today.
Ginkel's K rate is up from last year. Still 0-2 to Buxton.
We saw what he can do in this series on a heater up and away. He took out a family of 4 out in right center field out there with a line drive. He's got some kind of pop to all fields.
Well, we knew at the start of the afternoon that the bullpens would play a major role today, with one starter making his major league debut and the other making just his 3rd career assignment. And that's the stage of the afternoon that we find ourselves in here in the 8th. 2-2 now.
You know, I was there at Byron's debut. I saw him come up, and early on it was, hey man, use your speed, hit the ball on the ground. That's completely changed. Now he's one of the best power hitters in the game this year.
And hanging around in a long at bat, still 2-2. You know, the power numbers are the same home and road, but for whatever reason, Byron hits 200 points lower, 100 points lower, I beg your pardon, away from target field. Just a 228 road hitter this year. That's out to right field. Carroll has to one-hop it, and Buxton's aboard to start things in the Minnesota 8th.
That's a nice swing. Very fortunate that Corbin was able to keep that ball in front. It's a line drive right there. He thinks he's got a shot at it. Then he pulls up. That's twice today on 2 balls that kind of in between on him. That's a nice play, though, to keep that ball in front from getting by him. If not, Buxton's off to the races.
So now a left-handed batter in Cody Clemens. And here's where Ginkel becomes more of a 2-pitch guy. Slider, 4-seamer. Looking to dial up a ground ball here. Runner at first to start the inning. One and one. Cody hitless today, but he's had a nice afternoon defensively. Royce Lewis waiting next with a man on. To the opposite field and well hit. Troy back, drifting. Just shy of the wall to put it away.
A nice play by Troy right there. And the way that ball was hit, it did not allow Byron to tag. Sometimes you get those high fly balls deep in the outfield, and the base runner can read that, try to get to second base. But because Byron wasn't sure, hey, that might be off of the wall, so I want to be out there around second base. He stays on first base.
Royce Lewis singled and scored the first of 3 runs in the 7th that kind of flipped the narrative today. We'll check in on Buxton that almost went bad. Ginkel still looking for his ground ball with 1 away.
The way Byron's moving over there at first base, I don't foresee him taking off and trying to get this stolen base. I could be completely wrong. Maybe he's trying to fool everybody in the park. But I think he's ready to turn it on if there's a ball in the gap.
2-0.
Well, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to fall behind some of these good hitters. Royce has been swinging the bat well. Now you start zoning up for that fastball.
Three balls and no strikes.
Boy, I think he's struggling with his command right now. Can't get that fastball over.
How were you as a hitter in 3-0? Did you like to take that hack?
I think it just depends how you're feeling right there at the plate. You're feeling pretty good. You might as well.
Back in the count, it's 3-1.
I think in today's game, it might be the last true fastball count.
I was just going to ask you. They took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I don't know that there is anything, but that might be it.
Yeah.
The last left. To a full count now. And Lewis wants to challenge.
It's the first run of the night.
The pitch was called a strike. The batter challenged.
Full count.
Strike is confirmed. Minnesota has 1 challenge remaining.
Still 3-2.
Boy, those are tough for a manager when you look up there and that ball's completely in the box.
I don't mind it if you have 2 left and you get rid of 1 this late in the game. I don't mind it, but you're right. That was a lot of plate right there.
Yeah.
See if Ginkel can come all the way back from being behind 3-0, and he loses Lewis on ball 4. First and second with 1 away.
Yeah, and I think right there he just tried to be a little too perfect with that slider, trying to get him to chase some out of the zone. You got to go right at him, try to get that ground ball. That double play. There he goes, just out of the strike zone. Nice job by Lewis to hold up.
Now we're talking Father's Day. Brooks Lee's father is the head coach at Cal Poly, the college program, and he came into town. The first thing he said to Brooks was, "You're too spread out in the box. Close it up a little bit." And there's nobody that knows your swing better than your dad. I'll tell you that much. And Brooks did it, and he's had some success. Go, Dad, go.
Brooks had the honor of playing for his dad in college. To right field for Carroll. Buxton tags up. He gets to third. Runners at the corners with 2 away in the 8th.
That's where you got to make a good quality pitch right here. Try to get out of that inning.
T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. There with 2 out. It'll be up to Luke Keeschel to try to get an insurance strike home. 0 for 3 so far today. 0-1. When the Diamondbacks bat in their half of the 8th, they have the middle of the order Moreno, Smith, and Arenado scheduled. Full complement of bench options for Torey Lovullo as well. Off to St. Louis at the end of this one for Arizona. Twins back home for the Dodgers to start the week.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get any easier for Arizona now heading out on the road. They're going to play St. Louis 4 games and they go to Tampa for 3 more, and both of those clubs are playing extremely well.
Can't wait to get to the air conditioning in Tampa after 4 in St. Louis in late June.
Yeah, right. Thursday night game will put us in Tampa at 3 in the morning to play that next night.
You sound excited about that.
Yeah, well, I'm going home. That's home for me.
Okay, okay.
So I'd like to have an off day, to be honest with you, over there.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, talk about a big pitch in the ball game right here.
Yeah, this is it.
Runners at the corners with 2 gone. Keishel being granted a very late timeout.
He's probably at the plate thinking, all right, man, it's got to be a slider. No, can it be a fastball? No, it's got to be a slider. And then when that starts to happen, you got to take a timeout.
Kind of reset.
Ginkel's 2-2 pitch. Another check swing. Runner goes. Throw down is too late, and Lewis is able to get into second.
It was almost like a delayed steal. It looked like he took off late.
I'm really surprised Byron didn't take off to home there. You see that ball going all the way through. A guy like with Byron and his speed, he ends up going back on the throw right there, and Arenado was nowhere near the base.
Is there a chance that that Royce thought it was a 3-2 count there? I'd be surprised. He's a heads-up player. He sneaks a stolen base, and now it's 3-2 to Keishel.
Yeah, that was an interesting sequence of events right there for the Twins. It works in their favor as now they have the 2 guys in scoring position.
Again, this was a Twins lineup that went 11 for 19 with runners in scoring position yesterday. Keishel had 3 of their 20 hits last night. They're 2 for 7 RISP today. The next 3-2 pitch. Broken bat. Out to Perdomo to retire this side. 2 left stranded with some shrapnel on the left side of the infield. Triple threat, tougher obstacles, fresh faces, and 3-way races. American Ninja Warrior tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. Back to the bullpen go the Twins for the 26-year-old, well-traveled Yoendris Gomez.
Yeah, he's been a guy that's been thrust into some really high leverage situations. Derek Shelton hesitant to call him a closer. I think he kind of rides the hot hand out there in the bullpen, but he's been excellent as of late.
Gabby Moreno leads things off for Arizona. Diamondbacks down a run. 3-2 Twins. Moreno, Smith, and Arenado here for the Diamondbacks. Nice crowd on Father's Day. 34,000 plus at Chase Field today. The Diamondbacks do such a good job with their not only giveaways but just community outreach in general. I mean, there is no doubt that the desert has embraced this team, and they're well supported here. TV ratings, attendance, fan engagement.
It just seems like there's a lot of young families in this area. I went to dinner with my dad, who recently moved to Gilbert the other day, and that's all there was out there. So that's a nice demographic to have around your ball club.
It is, and the benefit of having spring training right up the street from where you play, the players are very engaged in the community because a lot of them live here year-round. So a lot of these fans that come to the game, these are your actual neighbors that are here year-round.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tying runs aboard to start the 8th on leadoff walk.
Boy, this is a guy in the lineup right here, Pavin Smith, that Torrey would really like to see his bat get going. Tim Tawa's going to pinch run over there for Gabby Moreno now.
So the tying run aboard is a pinch runner. Twins have had a hard time finishing off leads this year. 23 blown lead losses. And that ties them with the Tigers for the most in Major League Baseball. It's a leaderboard you don't want to be on. The one you do want to be on is on the other side. The most comeback wins in baseball this year belong to the Diamondbacks. Pavin Smith hitless so far today, 0 for 3.
Yeah, Shelty's had to earn his money as far as juggling the bullpen, trying to find the guys that have the hot hand. It's one of the biggest roles of a manager, in my opinion, is how you use the bullpen.
Ball and a strike to count to Smith.
Sometimes that kind of plays itself out, who's available on certain days, but today everyone's available for basically both of these guys. Let's see how they deploy him.
I feel like that's also the thing that makes a manager the most vulnerable. Guy can run a great game, set a great culture in the clubhouse, but you make a move that doesn't work out based on a player not performing.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you know, the talk radio circuit thinks you're a bad manager.
Yeah.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Pavin Smith.
Yeah, there's no perfect formula because, again, there's some guys or some days that guys just need to get work. Last night, Gomez came into the game because he hadn't pitched a ton, even though the Twins were up runs. And now here he is again.
Two. All the way to a full count now. Four straight sweepers from Gomez.
You got to make sure this ball's up a little bit. Don't want to chase something out of that strike zone. Let's see if Tawa's running here on a 3-2 count.
He stays put, and Smith lines it into the opposite field. 1 gone in the 8th.
Hosting friends for the next game? Just tell Siri, add hot dogs to my grocery list.
So 1 out, 1 on, and it'll bring back Nolan Arenado, who's been busy today. He's walked, scored, and singled in 3 trips to the plate. Let's see if Nolan can conjure up some more Father's Day magic. Big performances on this day throughout his career.
Well, it just seems like both catchers have made good throws down to second. It kind of shut down the running game on both sides. Nobody wants to try to take that attempt to try to get the scoring position.
Yeah, I'm looking over there at Tawa's lead. It's pretty close to the bag. I don't think he's going to make a run for it.
Ball and a strike to Arenado.
We showed earlier Royce Lewis with the step back. This is one of the guys that's done it for quite some time. If you watch Nolan Arenado's back foot, you'll see that happen with him as well.
Tawa, the tying run, pinch running at first. A ball and a strike to Nolan Arenado. Popped him up. Jam shot, just shallow center field for Kreidler. And there are 2 away in the 8th.
But you're right. Typically, you bring a guy in to pinch run, down 1, 2 outs now. You might want to try to get him into scoring position, but with the way these catchers have been throwing the ball, and I guess you got to give credit to the pitchers as well for holding them on, the running game seems to be shut down.
Here's Vargas now. Well, and when you start managing the scorecard at this part of the game too, say they give Tawa the green light and he is thrown out. If that happens, you're not guaranteeing Ketel Marte to get another at bat today. So I think it's quite unlikely now to see Tawa going anywhere.
Yeah, you're right. With 2 outs now, it's probably going to be a shutdown.
it also means without a homer, you're going to have to string together 3 hits to score a run. There's a lot to go through here, a lot to manage.
Torey Lovell is one of the best. I believe he's the 3rd longest tenured manager in the big leagues right now.
Winning a skipper in franchise history. And he has watched a lot of these 1-run games. Arizona has played in more of them than any other team in baseball. Two balls and a strike to count to Ildemaro Vargas. A single and a walk for him today. 3-1.
Boy, this is where Vargas becomes a really good hitter now. 3-1. He knows what he's looking for right there. Looking for something to drive in the gap. Left center field is wide open if he can get one out there.
Well, you said it. When he's ahead in the count this year, he is a .468 hitter. Full count. Arizona had a 2-0 lead through 6. Twins scored 3 in the 7th. Gomez and company trying to make that 1-run lead hold up for another 4 outs. The full count pitch on its way home to Ildemaro Vargas. Into shallow left. Larnach has it to retire the side. Nothing comes of the leadoff walk through 8. Twins still lead it by a run. All-Star festivities this year. It all starts with the HBCU Swingman Classic, July 10th on MLB Network. On the 12th, All-Star Sunday doubleheader on the networks of NBC. First, the All-Star Futures game, then the MLB All-Star 3-on-3, bringing together male and female athletes with big league legends. On the 13th, you can watch the Home Run Derby on Netflix, and it all culminates with the 96th Midsummer Classic at Citizens Bank Park, July 14th on Fox. Ryan Thompson takes over here in the top of the 9th inning for the Diamondbacks, trying to hold the deficit at 1. He'll face Ryan Kreidler to lead things off, and there are some defensive changes for the Diamondbacks. We'll post those in a moment as Thompson starts Kreidler with a strike. First, a new catcher. Adrian Del Castillo takes over behind the plate. And Tim Tawa remains in the game after pinch running in center field. Let me ask you guys this. If you had one invite to hand out for the Home Run Derby, one active player, and you can't say Ohtani or Judge, that's too chalky.
Can I say Schwarber?
Sure.
I'll take him.
He's the guy. Okay.
All right.
Especially at his home park.
Yeah, that's a good one because they go crazy for the local guys. I love watching Yordan Alvarez hit. He's one of my favorite players in the game. I think I'm going Nick Kurtz.
Well, that's a good one.
That's a good one, too.
Chopper up the middle. What a play by Marte just to put a glove on it. No shot at a throw. Kreidler's aboard on his 3rd hit of the game.
See Marte try the old give it to Perdomo at the end here. You try to make the throw as you can't stop. Sometimes that happens.
Marte's gotten really good now in this infield of reading how to make that little sliding play over to his left and also now to his right.
So we're going to have a visit on the mound, and it gives me just enough time to sneak in my Home Run Derby invite because I want to see Junior Caminero.
Oh, that's a good call.
Love watching that guy.
That's a great call.
At Ace, no matter how you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
So there has been some really good defense played in this game today. Ironically, the difference has been on that, I guess, controversial error scoring. We were all waiting to see how it was going to be scored, but the error that they hung on Corbin Carroll with Murillo not backing up, and then the go-ahead run was able to score on that ball that got away at 3rd base. That's been the difference.
Yeah, you're right. A bunch of beautiful defensive play, and then one that just kind of got away from the Diamondbacks has meant the difference.
Austin Martin's first plate appearance. It's a bunt attempt. Castillo goes right to second base. and gets the lead runner.
I'm not sure how he got this ball down. It looked like it was right on top of him.
How about that? Adrian Del Castillo right into the game and making a big time play. Cut down the lead runner.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I love the sack bunt right there. And I don't know if that's from the bench or if that's Austin Martin on his own, but it just doesn't seem like the right time for me with Jackson kind of coming up here. And he's had a great game, but you know, typically you do that if you're trying to turn the lineup over maybe to Larnach or Buxton.
So Martin aboard with one gun, and it's 0-1 on Alex Jackson, who delivered the big RBI hit in the 7th that preceded the error charge to Carroll and that go-ahead run scoring, the play we just talked about. Martin runs, and it's a chopper to third base. Arenado over to first for out number 2.
Boy, he got a great jump at first base. Might have been one if you're a hitter again. You take that pitch, let him get in the scoring position.
Yeah, I don't think that was a hit and run, but I think that's what I maybe would have preferred Austin Martin doing instead of laying the sack bunt down.
So now Trevor Larnach 1 for 4 today. A key insurance runner out there at second base. When Arizona bats in their half of the 9th, they'll have the 8, 9, then top of the order hitters. So Marte will have a chance to impact the game before it's all said and done. A ball and a strike. Two games that started the series with huge run totals, and yesterday 16-8, and so it was almost a certainty that today's would be a pitching and defense game, and that's what we've been treated to so far this afternoon on Father's Day.
Doesn't that make your scorecard look a lot better? It would have been a mess yesterday.
Yeah, we picked the right one.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
2 balls and a strike. Frisbee swung on and missed. That is the patented slide ball from Kevin Ginkel, or Ryan Thompson, I beg your pardon, that he has kind of built a reputation on.
Boy, he just takes a lot off that pitch. 77 miles an hour.
It just doesn't move like a typical slider's supposed to move.
2-2 to Larnach. Toward the gap in right center, and that's going to split Tawa and Carroll. Martin scores, and on a 2-strike pitch with 2 out, Trevor Larnach comes through with a big insurance RBI.
You're going to see Thompson. He's going to go back to that slider. Yeah, sees it again. This one a little bit more in the strike zone, right?
Yeah, you're right, Trev. I mean, that just gets a little bit too much of the plate right there, way up in the count. Really don't have to give in that early. Maybe get him to chase something. There you see it just goes right into that barrel.
Yeah, the last pitch up and in is where it ended up on Larnach, and that one starts away, ends up middle.
So now Byron Buxton for a 5th time. The guy on a 50 home run pace, hit a grand slam yesterday. He's been held to just a single in 4 at-bats this afternoon. Chopper for Arenado. On a couple of hops, the throw to first is not in time. And if Nolan Arenado can't make that play, very few humans could.
Well, he tried to use that turf to his advantage. Buxton just too quick moving down that line.
Yeah, that's the right play there as a third baseman. You want to give your first baseman a chance to go out and get that. Which I don't love the 2-handed scoop right there. Stretch wasn't necessarily there from Vargas, but Buck hustling down that line, elite sprint speed from him.
So now Cody Clemens 0 for 4 today. A run in the ninth, first and third with 2 gone.
He got that sinker right under his hands. A little tough for that left-hander to get to. Most lefties want to get their arms extended. Cody's got that pop. If he gets something middle in, he can elevate.
What a play by Marte to prevent any further damage in the ninth. Last chance for Arizona. And the deficit could have been even deeper had it not been for this handiwork. At which athletes can conquer the course in new episodes of American Ninja Warrior, now streaming on Peacock. Then the competition is heating up in the Villa. Stream new episodes of Love Island USA now. And catch every match of the FIFA World Cup live in Spanish on Peacock. So to the bottom of the ninth inning we go. Veteran left-hander Anthony Bonda will try to close things out for the Twins. Adrian Del Castillo will lead things off for Arizona. 4-2 Minnesota last of the ninth.
See Bonda in there for the Twins. Another guy that Shelty likes in these late inning leverage situations.
Two balls and no strikes.
We'll try to close this one out, and then tomorrow we'll get his World Series ring from the Dodgers when they visit Minnesota.
Okay.
Yep.
Bonda's been the guy in each of the last 2 Dodger World Series wins that in the celebrations that the cameras capture, the champagne celebrations. He's got the insane clown posse mask on. And the only way you know it's him is by the tattoo sleeve as Del Castillo puts a charge in that 2-1 pitch. Run down at the track by Clemens. Allowed out number 1 to start the last of the ninth.
He's all over the field today. Marte got him back there in the top half of the ninth, but Cody comes back out ready to play some defense and tracks this one down there on the track.
Here's Tommy Troy now for a 4th time. 0 for 3 so far today.
Well, Tommy right here, he's got to try to find a way to get on base somehow for that top half of that order to have that tying run come to the plate.
Quickly behind 0-2.
Yeah, we saw him bunt last night for a base hit. Brooks Lee up on the grass, so that wasn't really an option. Now 2 strikes. He's got to work his way on, grind through this one.
Ketel Marte waiting on deck. He'd love to have a chance with a man on. 1-2 to Troy. See Marte from the right side, one of the 4 switch hitters in the Arizona lineup today. Swinging strike 3, and the Diamondbacks are down to their last out.
That was a challenge fastball by Bonda. It's ahead in the count. See it boring in on Troy right there. Good spot. He's just behind it.
Yep, just kind of tied his hands up, not able to get that barrel out there, get it out in front.
So Marte from the right side with the bases empty and 2 out. After not homering as a right-handed batter in his first 58 plate appearances, he's hit 5 in his most recent 37 from the right side, including one here on Friday. And this is going to do it. High fly ball for Clemens in center field. And the Twins bounce back with a 3-run 7th, an insurance score in the 9th to take the series in Phoenix by a final score of 4-2 this afternoon.
A great road trip for the Twins. Ends up going 5-1 as they head back home, and it's a great team effort, great team win right there. It wasn't just the offense this time.
Yeah, tough loss for the D-backs. They had the game. That great starting pitching today from the rookie. Goes out there and pitches well. They lose it in the 7th. Just a game that just got snatched away from them.
Arizona's series win streak of 3 straight comes to a snap as the Twins take a 4-2 win today. Back with more from Phoenix right after this.